We knew it was going to happen, and then it happened. Nintendo... That reminds me of that Simpsons joke. Do you know which one I'm talking about before I say it? You're supposed to watch The Warehouse. I was watching. I saw the whole thing. It started to fall over, and then it fell over. Anyway, Nintendo has announced that, yes, they are raising the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Very recently, we had a whole bunch of analysts just being like, everybody, brace yourself. It's coming pretty soon. They were probably saying that because they knew that the quarterly financial briefing was coming. I never keep track of when that's going to happen. I never do. I'm always 100% surprised when they drop it. I don't know why. They drop, it's very predictable. But yeah, they were all talking about an inevitable price increase, and didn't even have time to make videos about that before Nintendo said, yeah, we're doing it. We're raising the price. And they're raising the price across the board. The increases will go into effect the 25th of May in Japan, but then Western markets, they have until the 1st of September. That's a very, very big difference. I have to wonder why. Like in Japan, they have very little time to get a Switch at the lower price. But for whatever reason, everyone else has 4 months. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of... I don't want to say generous, because we're talking about a price increase here, but that is quite a long time. That's a third of the entire year for people to buy a Switch 2 at the lower price if they want to. But yeah, no, it is happening. And, you know, they didn't, like, give a whole long spiel about it or anything. I mean, they really didn't need to. Like, we all get it. Changes in market conditions and such. They just said, we sincerely apologize for the impact these price revisions may have on our customers and other stakeholders, and we deeply appreciate your understanding. Bit presumptuous, don't you think? I don't know. I don't understand at all. I don't even know what are we talking about? What's going on? Where am I? And you know, Japan's actually getting hit pretty hard, not just with the earlier date, but all the prices as well. Previously, the Japanese language system that Nintendo was selling there kind of exclusively, they were selling it at a really, really reasonable price. 50,000 yen, which seems to be only about 320 bucks US. So that's pretty darn good. But it's going up by 10,000 yen. It's up to 60,000 yen. And then we already had the prices of our original Switch hardware go up, but now theirs are going up. So the Switch OLED model from 38,000 yen to 48,000 yen. Regular Switch 33 to 44. Switch Lite 22. But then here in the U states of A, the Switch 2 is going up from $450 to $500. Oof. Ooh, wait. That is a lot. That really is a lot. You know, I mean, like, Nintendo hardware, you know, especially since, like, switching kind of the handheld form factor, you know, it's got to be at least a little bit more affordable than the competition. So it's just really interesting to see how things have gone. You know, that now the Switch 2 is basically priced at what, like, at the beginning of the generation, what the competition's hardware was priced at. I think I spent $500 on my PS5, and now the PS5 is whatever $1 trillion, and now the Switch 2 is $500. So, yeah, $50. It's a good increase. You know, around $5,000 is a good bit. And then in Canada, it's going from $630, ouch, to $680, oof. In Europe, it was 470 euros. It's going up to 500 euros. And then in the UK, apparently the prices have not been announced yet for whatever reason. I guess they couldn't finish crunching the numbers before the quarterly report was due. But yeah, unfortunately, this was completely inevitable, even from the very beginning. You know, the Switch 2. I mean, I can't believe it's almost a year old, by the way. Did you know that? That, like, next month it'll be a year old? But even when it launched, it was like, we were all kind of holding our breath and being like, are they gonna raise it like now? Like, are they gonna raise it like in a week? So it did end up taking almost a year, but like, no, it was completely inevitable. The competition keeps raising prices over and over and over again. And I know, like, here's the thing, you know, plenty of people are gonna look at this and be like, this is Nintendo being greedy, blah, blah, blah. And the problem there is that we don't know how much money they have been making per unit, if any. You know, On the one hand, there's that thing where a company will raise the price of a product, not because they have to make a profit, but because they're going to make a little bit less profit and they want to make as much of a profit, if not more of a profit. And in that case, then it's like, yeah, like you couldn't cut into your bottom line like a tiny little bit just to give us a break. You didn't need to raise the price, you just wanted to raise the price. And we do know that traditionally Nintendo does like to make money with hardware. Other companies will often be comfortable selling their hardware at least something of a loss because they know they'll make it up with software sales, yada yada. Nintendo doesn't like to do that. So maybe that is what's happening here. But on the other hand, like the impact on just the whole tech hardware ecosystem, like the struggles in that sector cannot be overstated. In the world of tech components, things are very, very bad, and they have been getting very, very bad, becoming worse and worse and worse. And you know what? It's not just RAM. It's not even just RAM. This is kind of impacting everything. And I just read an article. You know what else? You know what else is impacted? Circuit boards. Circuit board, like the circuit board, like we don't even think of circuit boards. It's just like a given. It's like the plastic shell that you put the thing in. We don't even think about it. No, apparently that too. Just the little board that they like attached all of the components to. Even that has been impacted. Even that is seeing shortages and skyrocketing prices. So like, we really do not know how much this has impacted the amount of profit that Nintendo makes per unit. And previously, I did want to assume that they were still making profit per unit because, you know, again, they like to. They really, really like to. But I've heard people speculate that, like, they might not even be making a profit anymore. They might have actually not even, like, they may be selling the Switch 2 at a loss. We don't know. We don't know for sure. But, like, it's possible they're making very, very little, or maybe even selling at a loss. This may actually be them trying to get back into the black. At least, I mean, you know, obviously they are making up for it in software sales, but at least for the hardware itself. This could be another gross corporate move, but it might not be. This may be a reasonable move, just considering how awful things are in the industry right now, in every industry right now. Arlo, shill, bootlicker, defending price increase. Not defending it, I'm just saying, like, don't jump to conclusions. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, 500 here in the US, it is quite a lot, you know, especially when you hold it up against the launch price of the original Switch. Not even 10 years ago, 300, like 200 entire dollary dues higher. It is a very, very big jump. And I am really curious to see how this is gonna impact sales. Really, really curious because, I mean, you know, we've kind of been talking about it recently, how, like, in a lot of cases here, people grumble, but they buy it anyway. Just, like, we're seeing it time and time again. And that's kind of, I mean, you know, like, I'm not going to fault anybody for buying any of this stuff. And, like, you know, I bought a Switch too. But, like, just across many different sectors and categories, as far as entertainment products go, we do see that, like, prices are going up, but sales are not always necessarily going down. The grumble factor is going up, but for the most part, if people want the thing, they're gonna buy the thing. And when it comes to a console that you know you're gonna have and enjoy for like 7 years, you know, I think people are probably still pretty willing to just bite the bullet and do it. If it's that important to you, if it brings you that much joy, if it just, like, having it or not having it is the difference between just paying this amount for one time and it's annoying, but you just do it, or you just don't get to have it, like, forever, you know, our price is gonna go up even more later. It's a terrifying thought, but, like, that genuinely might happen. That's the world that we live in. That's the leadership that we have. Didn't feel that long ago people were grumbling about $4 gas, and now it's $6. Never thought I'd see a 6 up on that board. Anyway, so I don't know. There does have to be a breaking point. There does have to be a point where it starts to impact sales. And I'm really curious to see how it will impact sales and how it will impact sales positively leading up to the price increase. Again, we got like 4 months here. That's it's quite a lot. So you're giving people a lot of time to go out and buy a Switch 2 at the current price. But Nintendo themselves do seem to believe that this is going to impact sales. They said as much in their quarterly report. They had to lower their forecast for the 2017 fiscal year. Not by a humongous ton, and I'm, just about to record that whole video on all the financial results, so stay tuned for that one. But they do believe that this is going to impact hardware sales. Generally, the second year of a system's life is better than the first one because it has momentum gets going, more games come out, and you get a full calendar year rather than a partial, and in this case, a half year. But despite that, they think that the Switch 2's second year is going to be worse than the first year. Not like super duper dramatically worse, but the fact that, they forecast that the sales will be lower at all, that does say that they are pretty confident that this price increase is going to impact sales. Will that happen? Will sales go down? Or will grumbling simply go up? I mean, they'll go to unprecedented levels, but I don't know. We'll see. At this point, I feel like Nintendo, it's not that they're desperate. They're not backed into a corner or anything, but I can't help but look at previous times when they have been kind of backed up into a corner and they really, really needed to incentivize people to buy their hardware. Well, what do? They start throwing in freebies and stuff, like with the Wii U, had a pack-in game and then this whole digital thing where you could make credits or points or whatever you could spend on purchases. The 3DS had the whole price increase ambassador GBA game thing. They're not super desperate. They don't need to do a whole lot. But at this point, if you are having to increase the price to the point where you have to apologize, you have to publicly apologize, not just announce it, but to be we're sorry. And we admit that this is probably going to impact sales. Just throw in a pack in, man. Just throw in Welcome Tour. just do it at this point. It doesn't even come up in the sales reports. I don't even know how much this darn thing has sold. Just pack it in. Yeah, I'm not seeing any sales data on Welcome Tour at all. It's just stuff about it was the best-selling digital game based on looking at the eShop and looking at the order during this specific month. I think Nintendo would have reported if it sold really well. So I don't know. At this point, is it selling? Is it really? Just throw it in the darn box and slap a sticker on the box. It's not hard. It's a $10 game, but it's something. It's a bone. It's a tiny little bone, but just throw it to us. Reggie said you should. Reggie said you should put it in the box, and he's smart. You should listen to him.